everybody? So today is the day we're finally discussing Season 3, Part 1 of Chucky, Episode 1 dropping tonight. Now, you may have tuned into my review of all 4 episodes, the spoiler-free review, but now that the episodes are airing on USA Network and Syfy, I'm able to dig a little bit deeper into giving my thoughts about things with some spoilers as the episodes air. Because even though this is only the first episode of Season 3, there's still a lot of fun stuff to discuss, particularly the fact that Chucky is in the White House. For most fans, that probably is the biggest lingering question, considering we established in the opening this poor kid named Henry, scared of living in the White House, conveniently having Chucky as his friend. Or should I say Joseph, because that's the name that he's given this time around. This entire opening all around does a solid job establishing the atmosphere of the setting. The power is shut off, Secret Service agents are searching the dark corridors of the White House, while giving us a short introduction to the first family. Most notably, as is tradition with the Chucky series, Devon Sawa has another role in the franchise, this time around probably the most important role since he is the President of the United States. After we've introduced our new principal cast of characters for Season 3, we now return to those storylines we've been following since last season, mainly Jake, Devon, and Lexi. We get to see what they've been up to in the interim between seasons, in their search for Chucky and Caroline. I know they're technically still kids, but I feel so old now seeing how much they've grown up in these 3 seasons. Honestly, it's pretty impressive how Chucky has been able to manage to stay hidden for such a long period of time, seeing the various different methods the kids use to try and locate him. You have Jake asking if anyone's found a good guy doll to let him know so he can finish this crazy spider doll looking project thing. Devon's returned to his podcast talking about the events swirling around Chucky that we've seen in previous seasons. The most weird of them all probably is Lexi, since she's making thirst trap TikToks in an effort to get attention for searching for Caroline. I mean, whatever method works, I guess. It's probably the weirdest, even though it kind of ends up being the one that works. Regardless of the fact that Jake, Devon, and Lexi have no idea where Chucky is, the cat and mouse game between them is still at an all-time high, with Chucky still tormenting them, sending them text messages. One part about Chucky's messages that really cracked me up, the fact that Chucky sent messages to Jake and Lexi that were a little bit more fun and cryptic, and he just says, "Fuck you, Devon." Why do you gotta be extra rude to Devon out of these 3? This exchange does get even better and more intense, since Chucky does follow it up by calling them to antagonize them even further and trying to plant little hints and teases on potentially where he actually is. Saying to them where he is, they're kind of strict about visitors, and that's the only hint they're gonna get out of him right now. Being as this is still the first episode of Season 3, it is kind of tough to gauge exactly how I feel about the majority of the first family. They're all so vastly different. Part of me is more inclined to root for President Collins just because he's played by Devon Sawa, but I do feel kind of bad for him because he is trying to be this upstanding, honest president, but both of his kids are kind of a mess in different ways. Since Grant is kind of this obnoxious, rebellious kid leaking all this private info online, and then you have Henry hanging out with Chucky, which we've seen various times in the past, that kids that hang around Chucky usually have some level of trauma inflicted on them eventually, but this kid already had some level of trauma, being paranoid about how haunted the White House is, which is a true thing to be worried about. To be honest, the White House very much could be a pretty haunted place. Another fun thing about the casting of Season 3 is Devon Sawa is not the only actor returning portraying another character. This one you might not have noticed right away without the nun gear. The First Lady is played by the same actress that played Sister Ruth last season. That's not all, since his Vice President is played by the same actor that played Dr. Foley in Cult of Chucky, and he was also Lexi's father. Not that it's ever addressed in universe, but I do think it would be pretty funny if Jake and Lexi ever brought up the fact that, hey, why does Jake's father and Lexi's father look like the Vice President and President of the United States? Having the central location of Season 3 be the White House, and normally the first episode of each season is spent mostly just establishing everything, putting the pieces into place, I was getting anxious on how exactly Chucky is going to be able to kill people in the White House, and who exactly will he kill in the White House? Over and over again, we would get these shots of Chucky sitting around the Oval Office with a wide variety of different people. So my speculation was running rampant on who exactly in the Oval Office is going to kick the bucket in Episode 1. I don't think they would be bold enough to just straight up kill Devon Sawa in Episode 1, and that's if they ever kill Devon Sawa at all, although his track record in previous seasons is not looking great as far as him surviving till the end. I gotta be honest, the first kill of the season did kind of bum me out because I did like the character and what we established with him in the first episode. The show just has a way of getting me to like and invest in some of these characters just for Chucky to just brutally murder them. Like Nadine was a big example of that in Season 2. Because in the few sequences they had together, I found it so sweet and endearing seeing Henry and Teddy having this little friendship going on. That was until they sent Teddy to go check in the rooms and he found Chucky Chucky with a letter opener, leading to Chucky taking Teddy's gun and just blowing his brains out in bloody, gory fashion. It's a kill I'm not able to show you on YouTube because I'll definitely get flagged and I'll be demonetized because it's really nasty and gory. But I will tease you because I have seen the other 3 episodes. This is not the most gruesome kill of the season. Not only is it just wild that they have to unpack this murder to the press and spin it in a way to try and not cause mass hysteria, telling everybody it's a suicide, although having to explain to the media that Chucky did it, a killer doll, would probably be just as outrageous. It was so sad concluding with the funeral, seeing how sad Henry was, seeing Henry more traumatized. Luckily though for Jake, Devin, and Lexi, they just so happen to be having the news on behind them, and they get their first look at where exactly Chucky has been this entire time. He's been inside the White House as a friend of Henry. That's where things leave off in episode 1. Jake, Devin, and Lexi now officially know that Chucky is in the White House. We gotta formulate a plan on how exactly we're even going to get into the White House, because it's not exactly an easy place to get into. For our first episode, I thought it was a pretty solid introduction. There's still a lot more to discuss in the 3 episodes that follow. It is kind of a bummer that it's a part 1, but I totally understand why, and it's better than just getting no episodes at all. Once you've watched episode 1 of season 3, make sure you share your thoughts down below. How'd you feel about the episode? Did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? Show all your thoughts and theories down below on how do you think we're going to be dealing with stuff in part 1 of season 3. How do you think they're going to be getting into the White House to take out Chucky? How are you feeling about Chucky in the White House? Either way, thank you guys as always. Check out the videos. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you like on the video and also subscribe to the channel so you update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Next time, I'll see you guys later.